Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we will discuss the basic difference between phrases and clauses. I will elaborate it with the help of few examples because many students they do face difficulty uh, in developing the concept of a phrase and concept of a clause. Uh, so let's start. Uh, Clauses basically clauses they are like phrases, but there is one basic difference between a phrase and a clause, and the difference is a clause has a subject and a verb. All the clauses, dependent or independent, they have a subject of their own. So basically a clause uh, has a subject as its head, but on the other hand a phrase does not has a subject. A phrase is only a group of words uh, that adds additional information in a sentence. On the other hand, a clause is a group of words having a subject and a verb. So this is the basic difference between a phrase and a clause. Now I will discuss it with the help of examples. Let us consider this example of a clause. I met a boy who was dressed in jeans shirt. So this is a sentence. I met a boy is a clause, and this is an independent clause. Why it is an independent clause? Because if you observe, you can see that uh, it can stand on its own. If you detach it with the rest of a sentence, I met a boy, uh, it makes complete sense. It delivers a complete meaning. There is no ambiguity in this sentence, I met a boy. So this is an independent clause, but these group of words, who was dressed in jean shirt, uh, this is also a clause, but this is a dependent clause and it has a subject. This is the subject of this dependent clause. Why we call it dependent clause? Because this clause is dependent on this sentence to make sense. If you detach this clause from this sentence, this clause would fail to deliver the complete sense. Read it. Who was dressed in jean shirt? It makes no sense if you do not attach it with this sentence. So this is an dependent clause, this is a dependent clause, and this is an independent clause. Now you can see these both clauses, they have a subject. Here the subject is I, and here the subject is who. Now this who is a relative pronoun. We have used it here to point towards this boy. So this who is a relative pronoun, and it is here working as a subject. So both these clauses, they have a subject of their own. This is an independent clause and this is a dependent clause, but they have a subject of their own. So these are the two types of clauses. I am gonna upload a complete lecture on clauses, on dependent and independent clauses, but today's lecture in today's lecture I am discussing about the difference between phrase and clause. So for clauses, they have a subject of their own. Now let's consider an example of phrase. I met a boy dressed in a jeans shirt. So in this sentence, this is a phrase, dressed in jeans shirt. This is not a phrase, this is a sentence. I met a boy dressed in green clothes. No, if you observe the construction of this sentence, dressed in jean shirt, so there is no subject in this sentence. Dressed in jean shirt, there is no subject. So these are the group of words uh, providing extra information in this sentence. Even if you remove this group of words, the sense of a sentence is still complete. So phrase is a group of words without a subject. Subject is missing in this sentence. On the other hand, clause, they have a subject of their own. So this is the basic difference between a phrase and a clause. Now let's consider another example. The children were playing. So this is a complete sentence and it makes sense. It is delivering complete meaning. The children were playing. Now these group of words, in the garden, this is a phrase and we call it a prepositional phrase because it has a preposition at its head. So this is a prepositional phrase and you can see that these group of words, they have got no subject. These are just a group of words without a subject. Similarly, these are the group of words without a subject and this is a participle phrase because it starts with participle, past participle. So about phrases, they do not have a subject and they provide additional information in a sentence. On the other hand, clauses, they have a subject. This is an independent clause having a subject. This is a dependent clause having a subject. And who is the relative pronoun in place of a subject in the clause? Now let's consider another sentence. In this sentence, this is a compound sentence and I'm gonna join two independent clauses in this sentence with the help of a coordinating conjunction, because a coordinating conjunction always joins two independent clauses. So the first clause is Ali is a doctor. This is an independent clause. It makes sense. It is complete in meaning. And his wife is a teacher. Now this is also a complete sentence. His wife is a teacher. It makes sense. It is explaining, delivering the complete meaning. There is no ambiguity. So these two independent clauses are joined together with the help of a coordinating conjunction. So both of these clauses, they have a subject. You can see that they both have a subject. So these are the group of words having a subject, and because these two clauses they make complete sense, so is the reason we call both of these independent clauses, and we join independent clauses with the help of coordinating conjunctions. So this was the basic difference between a phrase and a clause, and we use phrases and clauses to beautify the sentences. You can see that this in this sentence we have added relative pronoun, but in this sentence we have added a phrase. We have not used relative pronoun. So you can bring the required variety in your sentences by using phrases and clauses. You must have complete knowledge about the phrases and clauses. You must develop a complete concept about phrases and clauses. I have uploaded many lectures on phrases. You can find them in my playlist, and I am gonna upload more lectures on clauses. I will discuss dependent and independent clauses in my upcoming lectures. So stay tuned and do subscribe to watch all the lectures on English grammar and essay writing. Thank you so much.